arm wrestlers, I feel like the majority, or at least a good chunk, come from Florida. You know, you got
Florida.
Jerry Chance down here in Florida.
All kinds of good arm wrestlers down here. Brad Grundy, Daniel Price, Brandon.
Yeah. Bro, East, like we were saying, East versus West is going to be all FAL soon, man. So
certainly getting a lot of Florida guys between Chance and Brad. That's a solid combo. Carl Stanley. We haven't seen him recently, but he's a hitter. Those three heavyweights are very hard to beat. Daniel Price and Shark running close behind all them.
Artem.
Yeah.
What's up with the Vitacell thing? What'd that look like? They're all just on vacation?
I don't know, man. It looks crazy to me. I don't want nothing to do with it. there's some things going down in that house.
It's crazy.
Wait, more than just stem cells? You think they're injecting more than just stem cells?
I don't know.
Next time you see Devin Larrett, he's going to be like 7'2". Has a third arm.
2 left arms, bro.
That's
you got to
awesome.
grab them both, or you don't win. It doesn't count.
Well, let's at least hope that they all come out of there stronger.
Well, hey, this is one of the big things we talked about, that stronger isn't better. You know, like that.
Stronger isn't better.
Not at arm wrestling, right? Like if you look at the strongest guy, he usually doesn't. It's not like, oh, well, he's the strongest guy, he's going to win. That's, you know,
That's true.
I feel like that's the bad culture of arm wrestling, that the top is really perpetuating. You know, like when you look at the strength mags for like bodybuilding, they're all going to tell you 5 by 5. You want to do your sets to 12, and it's like not everything's like that. You know, you got HIIT, you got high volume stuff. There's all types of ways to work it out. And just with this stuff, they're like, oh, you're an arm wrestler, you're new, hit that bench. You'll have 405 on the bench. That's what you want to do to get good. And I'm like,
there's something worth what you're saying in the fact that how often are you scared of someone just because they're stronger than you or a little more jacked?
Every time I see him, I go to arm wrestle him.
Are you?
I
love when I see guys with muscles and like
it's like
I already know. I know right now he is not going to lean on technique at all.
Right.
As soon as I see them big old shoulders and everything, I already know where we're going.
You ever heard Coach Ray talk about the curse of strength? And
it's a curse unless you're too damn strong.
Well, again, it's this. Yeah, it could also, like, I feel like Jerry Caderet a little bit. It's like the curse of one. I find myself dealing with it too. When I'm sure you do. You have one way of arm wrestling that's better than your others. You know what I mean? Like if your top roll is way better than your hook, you tend to go to your top roll more than your hook, and then it's like you kind of forget your hook a little bit instead of trying to, I'm only speaking for myself. I arm wrestled with a lot of ego in the beginning, right? I was like, oh, I got to beat these people. What's the quickest way to beat them, right? Instead of just doing like Brandon talks about, your journey yourself to get better, and you'll beat them eventually if you do your journey right. Don't rush it. Don't rush it.
Well, and the other thing too is sometimes you won't, like here, me and Artem could have been chasing each other for 10 years. But if we're still chasing each other 10 years later, we both got good as fuck.
Sure, yeah.
Right. That's the other thing. You may not catch the guy, but God forbid you don't catch him and he's at some national level and you're right there.
Sure. Yeah. Running, and that's, I'm sure like John will say it's great to have George in your practice. I bet, I have.
There we go. Talking about chasing someone. I'm chasing the elusive.
Hey,
the arm wrestler formerly known as George Whitfield. What?
He was at my practice Saturday. Where were you?
You told me that match was only worth an official setup.
Yeah, but you're like, well, I'm going to be there.
Well, so what you basically told me deep down.
He stood there for an hour and a half with his right arm, not doing anything, waiting.
Why'd you say anything?
Well, no, he knew about it from someone. Jeremy said something. I don't know.
Oh, you're in his head. That's how you know, man.
But no, it doesn't need to be there. You guys will see each other shortly. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, no, this is
but how unsatisfying is it if I have to see him after he's got some wear on him, or we catch each other with some wear and tear?
It builds the story.
George, if you're watching this, I want you to know I told John, very excited. I called him that morning. I told him how amped I was to have a match with you. And I was getting Jeremy Duncan was hyping me all week, telling me how this is the great setup. This is the great spot to pull. I called John. Yeah, man, I don't know. That needs an official venue. I could not referee that. I don't think that's a garage style match. Oh, okay. I'm still keen to come,
but does anyone think that's a garage match? You two are both so good.
Yeah,
Michael Todd pulled Devin. Devin pulled Michael Todd in a
Let me ask you this. Does George really think he can pull me in a garage with no fucking rules?
I don't think anyone's going to pull you in a garage and no rules for
anything. That's your spot. That's
that in that garage was the greatest chance I had to get on that list.
Fuck yeah.
That was the spot. None of y'all would have fouled me. So I will respect it for legitimacy purpose. John protected George. So I hear your bodyguard won't be here on the 30th, George. I will be. Don't be out there changing tires. Don't get caught up in an early war with Jerry.
I think this is all good. This is all good promotion. Right?
Don't let George hang out with me for 20 minutes before we poll.
Look how big the Pacquiao Mayweather match was. It took so long for them to meet. Well,
I'll tell you,
the grapes were ripe.
There's been some really great rivalries in Florida. I think the best that I've ever seen could probably be Daniel Worley, Carl Stanley. But the rivalry I had with Max could be very close to that. It was very intense. And while I love Max now, I hated him then. I don't hate George. So I don't know that we could have the same rivalry. But my dude needs to get to 19 so we can both be on the list.
Well, I think we're going to do a good job and find one of you two a really good match to move up that list here in the next couple of weeks. That's a good idea.
I got a guy in mind. I'll talk to you about him later.
Hey,
I got a guy in mind.
You see what's going on here? You see how good this is?
All right.
It's all coming together.
We got going. Sterling says, yeah, everything's a garage match. No one cares about arm wrestling unless it's at the FAL. And I wouldn't want to steal come on, I'm going to throw the event. I'm going to win the event. I'm going to be the star main event. I'm going to pay myself too well to come show up and arm wrestle. It just wouldn't be right.
This is counting your chickens right now. This is how you do it for everybody.
Listen, I'm planting the seed in the universe. 2 weeks, you guys come back to this show. Just like we should have had a recap on what I said was going to happen at the tournament.
Oh, this is
when I told you in the parking lot.
No,
right?
Nostradamus. We're gonna come back. And
no, that's what Bowen. Bowen is Nostradamus, right? he wanted that award so bad. But
yeah, you gotta believe it. If you don't believe it, if you don't believe you can be the 176 champ, how the fuck am I supposed to believe it? You know what I mean? Like, if you can't convince yourself, how are you going to convince anybody else? How are you going to convince your opponent that you're better than him if you don't believe it? Right? Like, that's one of the things we were talking about before is like that mental, bro. You got to go in there like, they call you crazy. And I'm like, oh, you think you could beat freaking Devin? Yeah, I think I could beat him. Like, I'll beat anybody. And you're like, you're nuts. Yeah, I'm nuts. You got to believe it. You got to have, again, don't go full delusional Ryan, but stay in your boat. But yeah, arm wrestle with confidence, man. Because, we talked about, like, I know I arm wrestle different when I think the dude is stronger or better than me, right? Like, I usually won't initiate into my offense. Yes. So you know exactly what I go, I'll defensive because I'm like, maybe if I can hold them, it'll be a win, right? Getting a hold on whereas like, you should just be like, fuck it. I'm gonna go right inside on you, bro. I'm just gonna fucking.
I just want to show you how long I am.
He wants to
George gonna beat me. Okay.
Look at this thing. I don't even fit in this. I'm 6'3" now. I've been on the
I love George.
I could put my shoes on without bending down.
Are we gonna consider say the you got a lighter? Say the bracket again of who you were telling me.
Well, you're gonna be there, George. Sadiel said he's going. You'll have Jared Lorino. And then whatever other 76 show up, hopefully me.
Okay, if I win that class, is that legit? Do I take George's ranking or how do I get this fucking 70? I've never seen a list so hard to get on. 198, you do this. Hey, you want a fucking problem? Yeah. Okay, let's meet. It's like an old school fight in 3rd grade. 76, it's like formalities. I got to message the guy's father. He tells me that I'm not ranked high
Bro,
enough.
It's because we're small people, you know.
Bro.
Gatekeeping like a motherfucker in the 76 class. Listen, anybody thinks you are good, come to FAL. I will fucking destroy you in the 76. George, Duncan, any of these guys, come on down. I am unbeatable at 176 pounds at the Florida Arm Wrestling League. I'm putting it out there.
That's like going to Mars. That's a big, bold claim.
Well,
I cannot wait.
At 176?
In Florida.
In Florida. Bro, that's if I was in Florida,
I'm too close to my power source. That's it. I'm like a fucking werewolf out here. Transform as soon as I show up at the FAL. Exactly.
You did look incredibly strong at the last tournament.
No, stop. You guys were just weak as hell. I wasn't strong.
You never even got
to run the tournament, John. I had to run the tournament. I was there the night before. I got there at 5 a.m. I wasn't strong.
You were pretty strong.
When I pulled Niles, I was strong.
Well, that was 40 pounds ago, Brandon.
Oh man, but you know what? I think I was so weak pound for pound there. It's the same strength, right? I've always been at my baseline natural strength, no matter how geared up I was.
Yeah,
never actually increased.
Strength a little less side, maybe. Yeah, it's all good.
No, I'm actually kidding. The 76 class is strong. I think I won that class due to you guys fucking burnt each other up, and then Jerry pulled me wrong.
Yeah, we did fight a little bit. It's okay. Don't worry. It was a good warm up for you for this next one. It should be good.
For me,
it was me
and you left-handed in the finals. I'm predicting me and George and me and John Zilla right and left. Sadiel, he's going to be standing on the wayside just looking. George is going to be watching the left-hand final. I'm going to give a fucking Toddzilla dance for everybody.
I'm going to have to rub your head.
You throw me a do like Stone Cold, I'm going to smash it.
Nah, hey, that's the problem. I got to cut down your do intake before the match.
You seen what happened?
Yeah.
You seen what happened?
If you
on that last do right before we started, I knew. I looked John dead in his face right before the tournament started. Fucking chugged the whole do and told him it's fucking on. I'm beating everybody. That's right.
How do you beat that? How do you if somebody if you walk to the table and dude just sniffed a line of salt, right? And then squirted like some lemon in his eye, you're like,
yeah, you're not beating. Exactly. Hold on. I got a story for everybody. I think I told this story before. This fucking greatest story ever in arm wrestling. I go with Travis and Artem. Travis is throwing a tournament. My memory is not that good, but I think it was the Maryland State Championships, of which Artem won, like all the other state championships in America. And we go out there and Travis tells me there's 2 biker gangs. And these guys are like legit biker gangs. I don't know if they're like the Hells Angels or nothing. I don't think they were their own different gang, but they were like in full leathers, repping their state. You know, this wasn't some lawyers that looked like they just wanted to ride. It wasn't
Wild Hogs.
No,
it wasn't Tim Allen.
No, not at all. It was like Tim Bresnan. Okay, fuck Tim Allen. So these guys show up, and when they show up, they're kind of being cordial to each other, but they're talking shit. And they're huge guys. They're like fucking some of them 400 pounds. You know, these are like the big guy. The one guy's name was Tiny, and he was massive. You know how big this guy was. Westbury looked like a little boy. And these guys get up here, start polling, and there were several matches beforehand that were getting real crazy. It was getting out of control. Travis is about to shut the whole show down. You know, he thinks this is getting crazy. These fucking bikers come up here. The one guy is like stalemating him and stalls him. This fucking biker whips out pepper spray and pepper sprays him right in the face mid-match. The other dude rips it out of his hand, sprays it in his mouth, and then finishes him and buries him and starts going crazy. This happened. I'm not making this up. I need someone to
document this for the internet.
Somebody ask Travis or
919. This happened.
Is there a video?
Or the Crab Bandit was there. He would vouch for it. It's a true story, but bro, this dude, I mean, he literally ripped the shit out of his hand, sprayed himself in the mouth like it was hot sauce.
It's not.
And
I put it on a hot dog. Have you ever put it on a hot dog?
The police sprayed me in the face one time.
Oh, that shit
Fucking point blank for like 30 seconds.
There's no pepper in pepper spray. It's like a complete fabrication. Like if you're out of hot sauce, you can't just spice shit up with some fucking mace, bro. They're gonna.
It didn't even phase that biker, bro.
He's probably been maced 9 times.
I know,
bro.
It didn't even phase it. I tell you, they sprayed himself in the fucking mouth after his eyes full of it. Won the match and was going crazy in there. Sounds completely made up. Benji Mack can confirm he was there in spirit. Absolute true story. I'll next time I'll get someone to come on and corroborate. But
bro, I worked at a biker bar, so I know for a fact that it was Hell's Angels used to come by this bar, and they were out of control. He was talking to this girl, and he didn't know that it was a biker girl, and that Hell just came up and just stabbed him like 3 times in the fucking, in the body. Just don't talk to our women. And then they fucking took off, bro. They're no fucking joke. They don't care.
These guys had some rival. To be honest, I thought it was going to break out into a biker fight, but
that'd be dope. Though.
Well, there were only like 6 bikers of each and like 90 arm wrestlers.
Yeah, so you could have kept arm wrestling. If you would have kept arm wrestling through the brawl, right? Like people knocking into you and you still fucking pulling, bro. That's how you got it.
I got to bring Travis on and tell one of the craziest, most tense stories that's ever been told of the absolute. I'm not going to do it here, but the fucking most awkward car ride in the world.
Oh, I had a couple.
Absolute worst. We need to have a story hour on here where once a week we just come on here and tell some wild fucking
animating
stories.
Some of those fucking stories would be great, even just with.
Can we go over? I feel like it's ringing in here. Can we go over some of the Monster Factory matches? Could you pull that up? See who the matchups are? It's written at the bottom of the flyer, if you could, John.
Yeah.
Michael Todd version 62 is going to take on Michael Todd version 84 in a in time match.
The best version of Michael Todd was when he had the short facial hair.
Bro, this is one of the things I was going to talk about before.
People talk shit now, but there was a moment where Michael Todd was unbeatable.
Because first, I think he let it get to his head, right? Like people talk about his style. Yo, your style is your style. And that's one of the things that I love about arm wrestling, and that I hate when people are like, oh, well, this guy says, bro, find what works for you, right? I'm a longer guy, right? But just how I started arm wrestling, some inside stuff. I love it, right? And if I would have just listened to everybody else, I would have never went inside. People, oh, you have a long arm, use that long lever. You know what I mean? And it's, I feel like Michael, he had such a great, opening up, letting them hit into your King's move to burn them out, and then pulling yourself into press to finish is fucking arm wrestling beauty, dude.
I think in Michael's defense, what began to happen, and I don't want to speak on nobody's upward or downward spiral. Mine's downward, we all know. I'm not picking on little kids.
We wouldn't move if we weren't
exactly. I'm now in the 176 class, but I had to go somewhere. I didn't want to sit at a plateau, so I went downhill. But Michael Todd, I think what affected him was the end of WAL and the end of the large elbow pads, and then the policing the downward humerus angle.
Yeah,
he really did that because
I know. So both of those kind of started at the end. When WAL ended, they got on his ass. So he was in a position where he was maximized, fucking running foul, loose.
Yeah, running foul was great for him.
Long elbow pad, no
matches.
call, and then he goes straight back to 7x7 pad. Fucking, they're calling it. They're making him stand up, and I think that that's what brought it. Dude, I seen him. I can't remember. I have to go look. I'm not the arm wrestling historian, but I think he beat Pushkar when I first started, 2012, 2013. He was
Pushkar. Wasn't ready for that style. They're not ready for that. Especially Europe started.
There was a bunch of good matches, bro. I'm telling you,
beat Hermes.
He was unbeatable. It was Devin Larrett when I first came in here, and then Devin immediately went and got surgery. He had to get surgery on one of his arms. He backed off. And then it was Michael Todd was running wild, dude. He was the arm wars champ, the UAL, UAL, WAL. The one thing is, even though he's super hated by people online, they forget he will find his way to be right at the top, if not the top of whatever fucking league you create.
Yep.
He will. He's in that. So ugly style. I love it. I think King's moving is amazing.
It's a hard
move to understand how you separate parts of arm wrestling into ugly and beautiful.
Well,
it's like jujitsu. Is that if you do an ankle lock? Oh, that's ugly jujitsu. Locking up the leg.
There's a time let's talk about this. There's a time when what is before any of us were arm wrestling, but they used to foul you if you rolled out.
What do you mean?
They would foul
Like
you if you rolled out. Yep. Before the strap, you would pull in a standard setup. If you slipped, you would then start in a power hook. And a deep hook is where you would start. And if you rolled out from that, it was considered a foul.
So there's like no top rolling?
I believe
or
you
had to hold
you
on
could
when
top roll if
roll,
you
but-
hung on. Yeah, but if you were rolling out, they would start you off in a hook. So, you know, there was probably a time too that people had to take shit for being top rollers. Right. They did, that style was new at some point. And same thing. I think that people better accept King's move as the new, it's here.
Yeah, I don't know if you read
It's not
Will
stopping.
Joseph's. He was like Todd's King's move was like Gracie and when he first went to MMA. Like nobody was really ready for jujitsu and MMA. Everybody was just like punch in and beat. And then you got this guy who's just like choking out and using his gi. And they're like, whoa, what are you
Listen,
doing?
the window to outlaw it is over. It's too deep inside our culture. It's not going to be gone. And the truth is if you don't have a King's move, you don't really have a true last ditch move.
Right.
So having the King's move is your last move when your hand's been taken, you've been forced into a hook and they're driving sideways on you.
If you spin all the way this way and pull your back pressure, you know what I mean? So like your back pressure becomes their side pressure. That's
Michael
King's
Todd
move,
was
man.
good for making that fucking angle would be
Yeah.
diagonal. I mean, he was so crazy. He would hit and pull sideways to himself.
Yep.
Look them up, man. And it's hard to go sideways when you're being pulled back and to the right.
Benji Max says the flop is the new king since flop kills the kings.
Flop kills everything.
I disagree. I think the real best move is the old school shoulder roll.
Yeah. That
Just pure shoulder behind, not a flop press, but a press with the shoulder in.
Twist, get that.
Austin Wade gets a lot of these. A lot of people that can get on top of it. And that move, if you've ever had anyone truly shoulder press or shoulder roll you, you know how it's unstoppable. It's unstoppable if they get it.
Yeah, it's just like
now the true counter to the press is a hook.
Yeah,
don't ever be fooled. That is the counter. You can easily get the avenue by top rolling because they're giving the hand, you're getting it.
And then you can get stuck. Get stuck in them positions where you're like, you got a good top, you got everything, but they're just doing that Jerry where they're just pushing. But yeah, I think coming in, once you feel that wrist flopping, get in on them. Don't let them get their shoulder, put your shoulder. A lot of people are afraid to,
Mark Keaton says it should all just go to the hook.
Nah, go to the strap. We have a strap. Go to the strap. Why go to the hook? You can pop out the hook.
Nah.
Yeah, I'm an advocate for entire arm wrestling starting in the straps, pure King's move, everything allowed. I don't believe in the downward humerus rule. I don't believe in the pushing an opponent off of the back rule.
My problem with the downward humerus is that you can use it offensively, right? Like, so if you're hanging off like this,
that's a legal move.
Yeah.
Offensively is considered legal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, oh, this arm position is okay, but only when you're offensive. So why can't I use it defensively? If I can use it offensively, I can picture if somebody is like, oh, you could press flop wristed, but only in the winning position. You'd be like, what? That's stupid. What happens if I'm over on my side and I want to press through them? Oh, no, you can't do that. So that, to me, it's out of the same thing. It's like, it's a circle, offense and defense. If you can use it on offense, use it on defense. I'm telling you, Michael Todd, it's so effective. I think that King's move transition type stuff is so effective. They had to figure, it's like in baseball when they were just juicing and just cracking home runs. We got to do something because it's becoming too. Instead of outlawing, I always think you should adapt. Like to just outlaw a move, let people figure it out. But if he can do that within the rule set and win, changing the rule set, I think is like kind of a little cheap.
I want to clarify, I hate referees. And the more I can take them out of the equation, the better. I don't think anything in strength sports should be subjective. Everything on here should be clear that I'm strong. So if we go lift weights, these fucking guys have judges in weightlifting now. I could lift fucking 2,000 pounds.
Not a rep.
I could break the fucking record by 1,000 pounds. And they just say it's not a rep.
Yeah, not a
I picked it up. So subjectivity in strength sports, horrible. And when you add more and more and more and more
Things
rules,
to look for. Yeah.
you ultimately give the referee more and more and more and more of a role in the match. And I don't like over reffing. I think the referee is kind of the silent third guy. A good ref, you won't remember who reffed, and it's like he was never there.
Well,
That's my opinion.
let me ask you this. If we had picture just in this
And
world,
reffing is the hardest job in arm wrestling.
we had some robot that set people up. So every setup was perfect. You
Mhm.
think Devin is as good as he is? Do you think some people are as good as they are?
I won't be as good as,
You know what I
if
mean?
you give me a robot to set us up every time, I won't be as good as I am. I like the human error. I like the confusion right before the go. I like the guy telling the referee that I'm cheating. And then
Yeah,
she's
the fun.
yeah.
Part of the game. You know,
What?
it's
The strength part of it is this isn't a strength sport, it's combat. I respect that viewpoint too. Even in combat sports, the referee, very, very shitty thing, right?
the best ref's the one you never see.
Yeah, can you imagine me and you fought for $1 million and they call it a draw? Are you kidding me? One of us got to win this damn $1 million.
Right.
There's no draw. We're going to fight to the death for this money. Like, so I hate I let me take it back. The ref is my number one asset. In practice, I can beat nobody. At the tournament, I'm suddenly something, right? So I'm using the ref, but I like to keep the referee in my viewpoint of what is pure arm wrestling. Pure arm wrestling exists like this in my eyes. Two men agree on a grip, are happy with it, and they say go. They start on their own go, or just a go. That would be the ideal scenario if everybody was fair with each other and we didn't need it. Maybe there's just a guy there that says go. It's like if me and you race outside your house.
Right.
We just need Amber to yell go.
Bro, I'm sure you've gripped up with guys where you get your grip and then you just nod your heads and in practice, we're like, good, yeah, just go. And then you go like, and that's,
That being said, you have to have some referees. We are trying to cheat each other. It's not even cheating. They use the word cheating too much. It's taking advantage there. So when you get up here, let's say it's 50-50. And it's all decided, the 50-50 balance is decided in the advantage, right? So when it starts, it's maybe 70-30 by that point. That's part of the setup. To get rid of that, for the guy that would say there's a problem with it, you go to ref script immediately, and strict ref script. But the problem with strict ref script, you get guys getting fouled out. So some of we got Ernest Damiani on here says getting pushed off the pad sucks.
Keep your elbow on the pad.
It's impossible to get pushed off the pad. Sam, it's impossible to get pushed off the pad. Never in my life. I tried to cry that one time.
He's javelin
when I beat Shark. And before I could get the pin, he drives forward. I go ahead and give me an elbow foul. I said he pushed me. Travis and Artem laughed at me, and then we repulled. So you can't get pushed off the back of the pad, in my opinion, because it's your job to keep yourself on the pad at all times. If we go wrestle, actually don't know the true rules of college wrestling, but let's say sumo, right? It's your job to stay in the fucking ring, right? It's my job to put the pressure on you. And the truth is if you're coming off the back of the pad, it's because the strength is you're not controlling the strength. My daughter can't push me off the back of the pad no matter what.
Or you weren't ready for a change in transition, a change in vector, and therefore that should be the foul on you. Why should I get fouled because I changed the way the match was going and you weren't ready for it and you got pushed off the pad?
You can't decide something like this. The referee is just deciding who he believes caused that. It's wild.
When we did that setup, we're doing a practice and Brandon is just carving me in, right? And he's carving, but he was giving me his hand and he's like, he's taking his hand. And I'm like, I'm not doing anything. And you were looking at it. It's like, who is he taking? Who's doing what? It's hard, So yeah, if we start and it goes like this, you would think I took that. But what if he gave that to me just to be a dick and make it look like I'm taking, so I don't know.
Well, don't think that too. Listen, you get me, I can't win the match and you got one foul. I'm for sure going to have some movement in the setup and hope it's on you.
Yeah.
For sure. They asked me,
at least trying to even
somebody asked me, can I beat Chance the other day?
On fouls.
That's what I said. Yeah, on fouls.
That's
you give me the right referee, I'll beat him.
Bro, I
very quickly.
And some people might say, oh, that's a cheap win. I'm like, look, if you can't stay within the rule set and I can, I'm better than you. Right? Like, how, it would be like, oh, if we go into MMA or do something like you got to grab the fence to win. I'm like, bro, you got to do something illegal to win. That's if you didn't do that, when you do that, you get a foul and you're out. Like, if you can't do that, then we'll know who's the winner. So I hate to see things lose on fouls, but you know what I hate to see worse is those setups forever, the refs not having control and then you get an ugly match because they don't want it to end on fouls. So it's like, look, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You might as well just have this strict rule set that everybody knows, and eventually they will fall in line, man.
How did y'all like the Anna Grunlin reffing?
Holy
wild.
I wasn't there, but I thought it was great.
I think that when my leg went numb, it's because she put the strap so tight on my hand.
She was like punching John in the shoulder. At one point, she like hit Jerry in the chin.
It
was crazy.
I loved it. My favorite boxing refs was Steve Smogler, right? And when the boxers, how they would they hold.
Sure.
He wouldn't break them up. He would just take the one guy's hand and throw it out so he couldn't hold, and he would fight. And if he would try and hook, he would take his hand and just throw it out. And I think that's good. The rep, take control, set them up, put them where they should be. They move, foul them.
It was a nice change of scenery to have her there, to know how much I don't ever want someone that refs like that to ref me again in Florida. It was so hard.
Strict reffing is.
Listen.
I hate it too.
Bring her back. I won with her. Bring her back. Bring her back. Strict WAF ref.
Got to do both, man. You got to have that dirty side, and that you got to be able to put the tux on too if it if it needs to be.
Was talking
crazy.
I liked it. Did you want to go over these Monster Factory matches?
Yeah, hell yeah, go over them.
You want to go over all 55 of them, or do you
Absolutely not. I want to go over the ones that include my dogs.
All right. So we have Craig Pumphrey and Carl Stanley on the right arm.
That's his real name, Pumphrey?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, Humphrey.
Humphrey or Pumphrey?
No, P-U-M-P. Hey,
Carl's gonna smoke him.
Robert Kelly.
I'm going to tell you, I have this kind of thing in arm wrestling. This is what I say. When someone says, can I beat him? If I don't recognize the name,
yes.
The answer is no. No.
Oh, no?
Well, I'm pretty sure that I know everyone's name that can beat me.
Yeah. He just beat someone that was pretty good, but I think Carl.
Bro, Carl's the shit.
He's
on a tear right now. Isn't he coming off a win at the Monster Factory?
Yeah, where he beat Sonny Gay out there.
Did the guy get hurt, though? Did Sonny Gay get injured?
I
that was a different guy.
I think he just got whooped, but this guy beat Sonny Gay the same way Carl Stanley did. He ran right through him. That was who he just beat too. And Sonny Gay said, well, they both ran right through me, so it must be a good match. So
I got Stanley.
And then there's that
Carl Stanley on that too.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you, I'm going for all the Florida guys. So just keep them coming.
We have Brad Grundy versus Pavlo on the
Brad Grundy. Unbeatable. Unbeatable. Listen, I'm gonna tell you my reasoning. Last time him and Chance pulled, he beat Chance, and then Chance beat Saban, and I believe Saban beats Pablo.
Yeah, it's a weird tier of people to go. It's like a weird list, but yeah.
We know arm wrestling math really adds up.
I think Grundy has a better wrist than Pablo. I think he can keep his wrist, and that'll help him.
Yeah.
That one I'm gonna go though. That is a razor close match, but I think that I think Brad has the technical advantage, and that Brad has some way he pulls that negates everyone's strength. So I don't see Pablo's strength being.
I don't know, like hitting when you keep cracking on somebody, like.
Yeah, he's really good too of stopping your side pressure. He can.
Does Brad Grundy ever look like he's redlining?
I don't think he's ever tried. Oh, he does this shit and this.
If he shows up barefoot with his shirt all crooked and shit, he's unbeatable.
Yeah, don't pull Michael Todd.
That's fucking super Brad, exactly.
Yeah,
he's actually becoming one of my favorite guys at the tournament. I was talking with him the other day, and I think he just made this shit up about the elbow pads that day with Ryan North just to throw me off to this day. But he's definitely in the line for one of the most interesting guys.
He's a character, but He's definitely a character, but he's
That would be a big win, man.
I'm not voting against Brad until he loses.
Yeah,
That's how it is. Until he starts losing, I'm
You think
going
he shuts
Brad.
him out? Is it you think
No,
it's clean?
I think 3-1.
Yeah, I think Pablo too strong on the start, and then
one of the first 2 rounds were probably very tough, but we got Paul Lynn versus Artem Taranenko left-handed.
Artem all day.
I don't think I've seen Paul pull left. I don't know
Man.
how it's lefty.
I'm such went down there, just got shot up full of stem cells.
Yeah, but so is Paul Lynn.
Out with a ball. Listen, if he
Paul
rubs
Lynn's like 250 though, right?
But Paul Lynn's there too.
Yeah, Paul Lynn's
All right.
hanging out. Yeah.
But it's left hand, right? That's Artem's hand.
I got loyalty to my boy. I would never publicly go against him. I wouldn't do it privately either. So I'm going Artem.
I think Artem can take him. I think he can 3-2 him. You know, I think he's got a little more tools.
Artem's left hand is better than his right. Just putting that out there. Paul Lynn's right is better than his left.
He does have a king's move too.
Yeah, but is Paul Lynn's right even close to Artem's right?
I think Paul Lynn's right might be way over.
His
Artem's
right is over Artem's right by a
Right.
lot, I would say.
Right. So how close would a better left be worse to or be close to a worse left? I don't know. I think Paul heavy favorite in that.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say so.
I would
too.
love Artem win because
I don't think it's impossible. I don't think it's impossible for Artem to win. I don't think Paul Lynn's just so strong lefty that righty. I would say yeah, but lefty. I don't know.
oh, if he can even arm wrestle left-handed, I don't even know if I don't know if his left arm's even there. Like
Who knows? Who knows?
just-
Find out.
Artem might blow him out lefty.
and he's such a dog right-handed. You would think that something's there left, but he might just be.
He might have put all the dog.
No. He's good both hands.
But
Paul's good both hands.
Righty good, lefty though.
No, his right is better, but he's good left-handed.
it's gonna be a hook match.
He'll beat all of us. I mean, he'll come down and run through Florida at the 220, probably 242 spot.
Lefty,
Yeah, I'll bet you.
but Artem could probably do that too.
It
Though.
would.
Artem did do that.
Yeah,
So-
Artem would sweep 220s. I mean, he would put Mark Goose. He would cut the head off the Goose. So I'm kidding. He's in the chat. I think Goose is our strongest 220 guy
Yeah.
when he shows up. And so it would probably get pretty much Goose and Artem guaranteed in the final. So yeah, we'll give the edge to Paul Lynn, but I'm going with Artem as the victor. He's on it. He's on fire right now.
All right. We have Craig Supler versus Roger Learned.
Oh, come on, Craig Sobler.
Hey,
Come
he's such a dog.
Listen, there's 2 versions of Craig. There is the guy that is unsure of himself and gets lost in the moment. And then there's this dude that I seen with his super match versus I guess it was Goose again at the Florida State Championship.
That was last year, right?
They were super close. Craig comes alive and just starts hitting outside fast. So if that version of Craig shows up, I think he bombs Roger Learned. If the version of Craig shows up that just hooks for everything, like a tow truck, I think it's a war.
I've seen Roger versus Hobbs in a super match.
Craig will
and
smoke Hobbs, I think.
Hobbs smoked Roger the first 2 rounds, and then Roger got him deep in that hook and
You can't
finished him off.
gauge Roger based off any past performance though, because he's leveled up a whole bunch. Roger's getting better. He's got 2 girlfriends right now. I mean, his testosterone's probably out of control.
So, but his hands are both arms are
Left
racked.
and right's very strong.
If full send, then Craig. Yes, I'll take Craig for sure.
What else we got going?
All right, we have Daniel Price versus Andre Shark, left-handed.
Price.
We got Florida versus Florida.
We have 2 of those matches. Yeah, but yes,
Who the fuck's booking these?
Michael. I don't know.
Bro, he knows the best.
Jesus
fucking guys
Christ.
in Florida.
Do you just want us to win everything? We're guaranteed winning that one.
FAL baby.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Shark is more of a dog when it comes down to grinding and in the war. Daniel, I think, has greater potential and a 40-60 chance. But I think that if my life was on the line and I had to bring one of them two at it today, I would bring Shark. I think in a year or so, a little bit of time with Daniel, it'll change.
It might go like
really good.
Daniel's got much greater potential in the sense that he's a larger person by a lot.
I think he'll win the hand.
He can get a lot bigger. He has a bigger hand, and his style is much better. Shark is so strong that with that, all he's giving his hand and then he's wedging everybody down. You know how strong you got to be able to do that? If Shark was top rolling, we wouldn't be able to catch him. He's just hitting, Daniel has got a huge outside posting top roll, like a Travis style move. I think Daniel, the sky is the limit, but I don't think that day is
at the East versus West. Didn't Daniel beat Andre Shark at the finals? Or am I wrong?
No,
I think he got him one and Shark came. I couldn't. Yes, okay. He definitely did win. I don't know how it went. However, tournament arm wrestling is you're gonna learn too. George may get a win, but in your fucking garage,
it's over now.
So
all right,
I'm that dude.
Yeah, and then you got crushed through Jermaine Loud after Loud totally.
Jerome Loud.
Oh, my bad.
Jesus, you used the only other black name you knew called Jermaine.
Scott, just give me a come on. I remember these
free entry for Jerome Loud just because this guy's
yeah, no, I see Jerome got to the side and Shark was there, but then Shark just I want to start
managing Jerome Loud. I feel like he doesn't speak up enough and people don't know him. Like, let me just start a Jerome Loud Facebook page and start calling people out.
Loud? Is that what
this guy's name is Loud. He's the quietest guy that if Jerome called people out, he would be crushed. Dude, I've known him for had to be like 10 years, 8 years. I never see him lose. Never. One of the only people I've ever seen get him is Carl's got him. And then at the Georgia tournament, his boy Josh Ellington was getting him. But dude, when I tell you that,
bro, he almost got Matt Mask out of straps.
I'm surprised he didn't beat Matt. Dude, there's a lot lot I won't bet against. He is so. I mean,
I feel like the refs were giving Matt a little bit of a helping hand to get over.
Yeah, Jerome's one of them guys, just like Brad, that I can't tell why they're that strong. I could see his hands huge. I could see he's big as hell and some back dude, but he's as strong as like a 300-pound juice movement.
Like Khalid, just like a life of doing some weird labor, dude, and you just come in and like
the grip guy.
Yeah. Well, then he did grip. Jerome I'll bet you Jerome don't even train for arm wrestling. He probably just arm wrestles because he's bored and that's what Greg Hilton and everyone does. Yeah. Yeah, bro. That's a half committed beast.
That's some scary shit, dude.
We have Daniel Price versus Dane Sellers on the right arm.
Okay, I'm going to comment on this match because I'm jealous, and I'm not scared to admit my character flaws. I want to give props to Dane for whatever he did to get on that card. I think it was being Shark's training partner and just fucking crazy, scary looking guy, right? So props to Dane. And it's Dane and Daniel.
Yes.
That being said, I do not think Dane is ready yet. Daniel's probably about the same type of strength and good potential, but Daniel's got 3 years of training on him.
I think Daniel's going to dismantle him.
Flip side of that is Dane was untouched at King of Florida. Untouched.
If he gets into power, if he's able to get to his power and get that hand curved over, that's
well. And the thing is we don't know how often he's leveling up because he's so new.
It's got to be
sure he could. So the next time we see him, he could just smoke Daniel, and then it's that forever. And he's just up there, So I hope he is.
Daniel was getting pins on Devin yesterday, right-handed.
This is happening December 1st and 2nd, so he has plenty of time to get those gains up a little bit more too.
I'm going with Pierce.
Price. I'm going. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with
Price.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. I'm going with Daniel Price on that due to experience.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I would say so too. But I would love to see Dane getting his power and get the first win maybe and just go
Where's
crazy.
the other, what else we got?
We have, there's 1,000 on here. Ben LeClaire and Carl Stanley left-handed.
Hi, Brendan.
Carl Stanley,
Left-hand, that's
easily,
yeah.
easy.
I'm not going against Carl lefty.
Who the fuck they match Dustin Hyatt up this time instead?
Listen,
Plus a guy named Brandon.
Who?
Jake Houston.
Who the fuck is he?
He just freaking smoked was it Palco's? Is that this guy that ran through Kevin Palco or something?
What the fuck are we talking about?
I don't know. Hey.
This is me touching the ceiling, John, okay?
Yeah,
You
but
ever mention Kevin Palco and me when I
that's
do touch
4
the
foot
ceiling,
roof.
okay?
What do you mean?
Oh,
Look at the wingspan.
look at this. Look at this. I'm
Hey.
dad moving these 50. You're mentioning 54 guys now.
Hey, like 50-year-old 54 man guys.
All right, so let me get this straight. According to Hyatt's stat, I need to compete at 76, beat somebody, get on the list, and then make it worth his while. So I won the tournament. I got to pull George next, right? Get on the list. Hey, and then I got to, I guess, buy him a fucking first class ticket.
You got
or-
to get him one of those.
Michael Todd ain't gonna match me up with him. I already know.
Think
No.
Michael Todd will even let you in the factor?
Listen, give me Kyle Haybear. Come on, give me the guy he just beat, and I'll show you I could beat him just as easy.
Roman Groma, Roman, is that who he beat last time? There,
He
at the
pulled Kyle Haybear
most-
from Louisiana.
Oh, okay. And then that's all the Florida guys, I believe. But there's some good matches on here. And then they have Hunter Nas versus Jamie Barrett, that Australian kid. But
I don't know how good he is. Hunter's
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go on
Yeah.
sale to see Hunter in a.
it's the real deal. Like, but that's a dude.
I mean, are you telling me Hunter Knopf's gonna beat me too? Is this where my respect is at? And Hunter's a beast.
Is he a 154?
I'm just asking him. I
Oh,
want to,
you
because
are.
John at this point is.
do I
fucking-
think he'll beat you? No.
Okay.
No.
And you think that is he a match for Hyatt?
Hunter Nas?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know.
I'm gonna say
It-
this,
it's
but
Wow, right? So it's hard to say.
if the opportunity arises,
You'll pull.
he better fucking be strong, bro. I swear to you guys, if I get his hand and it's a letdown, this kid, the way people are talking about him, I believe he is crazy strong. But
He
like,
gets-
is he strong as Joel Huddick and Robbie Russell and
I know
fucking Wierzinski and Artem and
Gonna find
yeah,
out.
he'd have to be really strong.
I mean, are you gonna say Dustin Hyatt beats Kevin Sams? He runs through our 98 class.
Man, it's hard to say. I don't know how big the guy is.
Well, they talk like he's a god. I mean, what happens if we match him up with Wade?
Is he 5'9" or is he like 6'1"? Is he like
He can't touch the ceiling. That's what I know.
But he's not that big.
I don't want you to forget, okay?
That's why I don't know, because it gets tricky because I don't know. I mean, you just gotta go find him and pull him.
I'm doing it. I'm challenging you again. Dustin Hyatt, where you at? I won the first one by forfeit. You did not show up. I'm 1-0. 1-0. It's like these are what Uncle Chow say. These playground rules. If I call you out, you don't show up to the playground, I am the winner by default. Okay.
It's a real deal. Forfeit. Yeah. He didn't show up. I didn't see him there.
Who we got on here? We only have George. Is George our only guy on the 76?
Yeah. And he's ranked for now.
It'd be George. I assume you're not having practice this. Is the tournament this weekend?
No, it's the next. Yes, Brandon, the tournament is this weekend at Euphoria. It's no longer at Mikey's place.
Oh, it's the.
Hey, let's mention that. Then you change.
That was the
This
name
is
of
what
the
the
story.
title was. It is no longer at Mikey's place in Plant City. Everybody take note. We're going to Euphoria. They tried to raise the prices of entry. They tried to charge you too much for beer. I'm like Oliver Anthony. I said, you can't do that to my people. I'll take them where the food and drinks are cheap and where they love us. We're heading to Q4. September 30th is at Q4, Winter Park, Florida, Orlando area. Everybody take note. Absolutely massive deal for you to note. Otherwise, you're going to be 4 hours from the tournament. And I can't stall the crowd for that long. I got to be honest. So, it's wild. We had to change it. It's actually some unforeseen circumstances. They double booked, and we intend to come back there next season. So still got good relations with them, but we won't be in Plant City at Mikey's place. We will be at Q4 in Winter Park, Florida. So the flyer is edited. Look on the FAL Facebook page. The couple cool things to announce before we hang up: all the flow arm gear. I know some people are attending the filming and the free tournament, the free party on the 7th. Flow arm merch will go on sale tomorrow. You guys will love to see what the season will look like, what it'll be. Flow arm will not be, it won't be 12 matches like this. And, so, but
it'll be 30.
30 events. You need 30. Oh, no. But we're going to have a big Q&A on that tomorrow. But the gear will come out tomorrow. Keep your eye on that. Even if you don't cop any, check it out. It's gonna be amazing.
Good. No unbiased. It looks good.
I'm not saying it's better than FAL. FAL is amazing. We're on the FAL Hangout, but
it's like right and left hand. They're.
I mean, let me see. This might be one of the coolest shirts ever made in Look at it. Come on, the Death Row Records, King of Florida.
I feel like.
Come on, who's got one of these? If you don't got one of these too, you ain't nothing. You ain't nothing. I'll see you guys next week. This was fun.
Yeah, see it.
Oh.
Look how big.